What's up, YouTube? So the Super Bowl just finished. The New England Patriots beat the Los Angeles Rams 13-3. It was a pretty defensive orientated game, as you can tell by the low score. Some people say it was boring, but that's just a good defensive game. So Tom Brady now has 6 rings. He's been to the Super Bowl 9 times. He's won 6. This is his 3rd Super Bowl in a row. He's won 2 out of 3. It's just a super dynasty that they have going on there, and he's not done yet. So here is an interview with Mr. Julian Edelman. He is the Super Bowl MVP. So he had 10 receptions for 141 yards. He was just an absolute beast. And it's crazy because Los Angeles Rams knew they had to shut him down. They knew he was one of Tom Brady's strongest weapons with Gronkowski, who also had a decent game, but this is his interview. But they knew they had to shut down Edelman, and they couldn't do anything to him. He had his way, which is why he's now the Super Bowl MVP. So let's hear some of his post-game interview, and we'll touch on a few subjects throughout his interview. So this is Julian Edelman, the Super Bowl MVP.
Julian, what an incredibly hard-fought game by both sides. Obviously, your offense came to life there at the end. What was the key to getting some offensive production against the Rams?
I think we just had to be resilient and just keep knocking at the door. I mean, they got a good defense. It's a good football team. We knew it was going to be a hard-fought battle, but we were conditioned and ready for that battle. We knew it was going to go 60 minutes. You got to tip your hat to that team because that's a good football team, but we were able to make more plays today.
So at first glance, Julian Edelman seems like a very nice, humble, down-to-earth type guy. I don't normally hear him talk too much throughout the regular season, so it's just nice to hear him after this game. He just sounds like a good, humble guy, which you don't have to be loud and boastful when you've won a Super Bowl and you are the MVP and you get 10 receptions for 141 yards. So you don't have to really brag or boast at all. You're the MVP. Your body of work shows itself. So let's hear what else Mr. Edelman has to say.
Inside the halftime locker room, you guys are in a dogfight, right? And you come out in this. What is the coach saying? What kind of adjustments? What was said in the locker room?
Same as always. Honestly, they come in and they give us what they've seen and what we need to do better. And then honestly, just kind of, hey, let's just worry about one play at a time, play our best half of football. And try to go out and win the Super Bowl. Let's not make it any bigger than it is. It's still a game. It's still football. Let's just go out and play it.
So I've heard from a lot of championship coaches that coach football, basketball, or baseball, that a lot of the times when they have a championship game coming up, that they tell their players and try to treat the week before, if it's football or baseball or basketball, they have multiple series games. They treat it just like it's another week, just like it's going to be another game. They treat it like there's nothing special about it. No special interviews. They still stay in team hotels. They treat it just like it's a normal game, because a lot of times that's happened before. If it gets into the players' heads that this is the biggest game that they've worked for in their whole life, most likely, that they're being put on the biggest stage of their life, that a lot of times a lot of players will fold. A lot of players will just, they won't be able to handle it. A lot of players will choke. They'll get up there and they will absolutely choke because the stage is too big. Now, I don't want to say anything about LeBron James choking, but you can take with that whatever you want. So let's get back to Julian Edelman's interview.
I'm the MVP of the Super Bowl 53. How does that sound?
It sounds crazy. 2018. L'chaim.
Your 41-year-old quarterback continues to get it done. He never stops, puts the ball on you constantly on third down. How about that?
He's a GOAT. I mean, he's got the same number as Jordan now.
So what Mr. Edelman is saying is that Michael Jordan is 6 for championships. He has 6 rings, and now Tom Brady has 6 rings. He's not 6 for 6, but his body of work for Super Bowls. He's been in 9 Super Bowls. He's won 6 of them. He's been to 3 in a row. He's won 2 out of those 3. So he's just, Tom Brady is out of control in winning. Some people put him as being a GOAT. I'm not too sure about that. I'm a Joe Montana guy. Joe Montana's 4 for 4. I think Bradshaw's got 4 too. But Tom Brady was definitely up there. He's definitely in contention of being a GOAT, and he's not done yet. He's not done. But while we're talking about the GOAT, I've heard a lot from a few announcers this week that Julian Edelman is being considered for the Hall of Fame. He's been considered as being a Hall of Famer. Now, I don't want to take too much time on this because I'd like to make another video on it. But Julian Edelman does ball out during the postseason. As you know, he's MVP. He got 10 receptions for 141 yards during the Super Bowl. And he is a postseason killer. But during the regular season this year, he is 27th in receptions for wide receivers for 74 receptions, and he is 28th in total yardage, received yards with 850 yards. So he's not even a top 10. He's not even top 10 or even top 20 in either of the wide receiver categories for the regular season. So generally, for me, for a lot of people I know, if you're going to be considered for the Hall of Fame, it's generally the whole body of work from your regular season to the postseason. Not just you turn it on when it counts during the big games. If you're a Hall of Famer, you turn it on when it's the first game that doesn't mean anything, or it's a Super Bowl. Because if you're a Hall of Famer, every game is going to be the Super Bowl, and you're going to be a baller no matter what. You're going to be the best at what you do. It doesn't matter if it's the biggest game of the year or if it's just some little preseason games. So, that's another video. I don't want to rain on Julian Edelman's parade here, but I don't quite know if he's a Hall of Famer, even though he did a great job. He balls out during the Super Bowl and his MVP. But I'll make another video on that. But for now, let's just enjoy the festivities and everything that Julian Edelman has done and let him enjoy being MVP of this year's Super Bowl. So let's continue on to what he has to say.
It makes him the GOAT of football. There's no question about that.
And that's no disrespect to Mr. Jordan, but that's always a little inside joke. It's an honor to get to play with a guy like him. Everything he gets, he deserves because of the way he works, the way he prepares, the way he competes. He's an ultimate guy.
And Bill Belichick said the podium is sweeter now because a lot of people counted you guys out this year. Agree with that?
So again, I don't like to keep interrupting his interview, but I would not say that people were counting out the New England Patriots. I think it's more of people who are hating or rooting for the team that always wins. Because everybody knows Tom Brady is, like I said, he's hovering around being a GOAT, if not the GOAT. And everybody knows Tom Brady is clutch. So I can't really say that people were counting them out so much as people want to see the dynasty fall. They want to see the top dog fall. Who's going to knock them off? Who's going to be able to beat them? Is this the end of the dynasty? How long is this dynasty going to go? So I don't think people were really, counting out the New England Patriots. Maybe the New Orleans fans were because they thought maybe they can get to the Super Bowl and maybe beat them with Drew Brees. Two Hall of Fame quarterbacks going at each other. But, I just think it's more of a hating type thing. People want to see the dynasty fall versus counting out the New England Patriots because you can never count out the New England Patriots. So, but let's continue on and let's see what else he has to say.
I mean, I'm always, you're always used to the haters when you play for New England, so you don't even really think about it. It's all noise.
Well, I think it probably inspires you just a little bit. Knowing your personality, just a little bit, Julian. Come on.
It was definitely nice to win.